Fun Convention TV and Florida United Numismatists welcome you to a glimpse of the Fun Show in Orlando, Florida. Join us as we discover all that the Fun Show has to offer in coin tales from the Bourse floor. Fun Convention TV welcomes Bradley Karaoleff of the John Reich Collector Society to the Fun Show. Welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Karaoleff, how long have you been collecting coins?
Well, I started when I was a child at 5 years old, and it's many, many years ago, 1964 actually, so we can equate that with the silver going out of circulation. It's all my fault. But my parents got me some Whitman folders, and I started, punching coins in, and it kind of advanced from there. And I kind of hung around the coin shop too much, and when I got to be old enough, they hired me, and so this is really the only job I've had, as well as being my hobby my whole life.
Well, that's awesome to have a job that you actually love, you know?
I get to go play every day. I don't get to go to work.
That's awesome. You're the president and the editor of the John Reich Collector Society, and you also handled their JRJ.
Yes, it's a labor of love again, and I was a charter member of the John Reich Collector Society, and have risen through the ranks from just a member to an officer, and now I'm president and editor of the journal.
And what exactly is the John Reich Society?
Well, the John Reich Collector Society is a group of guys and women that we get together and we study and collect the coins of the United States Mint before the Liberty-seated design, all of the gold and the silver pieces. And we collect those by die marriage and die state and different denominations. So there's really a wide area of interest there that you can get involved with.
And what exactly, or could you explain to me what die marriage and die state is?
Back in the early days of the mint, the dies were handmade. And being handmade, they were all slightly different. So if you have a catalog and a magnifying glass and you study them, you can tell which dies made the coins. There's an obverse die and a reverse die that was made. And every time you put an obverse and reverse together to make a coin, that's called a die marriage. So they would press, and after a while, one of the dies would wear out or something would happen to it, and they would take it out and replace it with another one, and that would be another die marriage. So each of the early series have these different looking coins. Even though they're the same basic design, you can look at them closely and tell the differences. And as the dies wore out, they would crack, they would the stars would draw to the edge. There's sometimes a cud would form on the coin, and those are the die states that we collect. So there are many people that revere the late die state with a bunch of cracks and problems on the coin that were die related.
And what do you need to collect these coins, or what would a novice starting out need to do?
A good magnifying glass is very helpful, and of course the reference books that guide you through the world of the die marriage for each series. My first specialty was the cap bust $50, and when I was working at the shop, of course, I was collecting a typeset at the time and a few other series, and there was a couple of guys that came in with this book, and they would look at my cap bust $50, and they would study them very closely. And so I got interested and started asking questions, and they explained it to me, and I thought, well, that's really interesting. It's kind of a step beyond just punching in holes in a Whitman folder. And so I bought a book and started to study them. And with the cap bust $50, there's 453 die marriages from 1807 to 1836 of the lettered edge coins. And so I began my quest for trying to complete the 453, which is virtually impossible. But that's the fun of the hunt. So by doing that, you need a magnifying glass to study the coins and a book, which for the $50 will be the Overton book, and you start matching them up. Now the beauty of it is there are many dealers that don't want to take the time to educate themselves as to how to determine the die variety. So you can go to many conventions like this and find coins that are unattributed. So unattributed coins are kind of like a little treasure hunt. If you're diligent and you look carefully, you can find one of the really rare die marriages from someone who's not willing to spend the time to learn about their coins, and you could buy a coin that is worth much more than what you pay for it, and you're not really doing anything wrong. We call it cherry picking because the person who has the coins in front of them. They have the opportunity to buy the book and study it, but they've chosen not to. So from that standpoint, then, you as an educated consumer can look at a piece and determine that they're asking $500 for a piece that might be worth $5,000. And that happens relatively infrequently anymore because there's so many of us. But years ago, that was very fertile ground for searching. So, but you still have one turn up every now and then. It's a really neat piece for a very low value. So we collect all different denominations also. So you can do half dimes or dimes, quarters, half dollars, dollars, and then the gold pieces. It's an area that someone on a limited budget can get started on, like I did when I was a young man. Or you can spend obscene amounts of money if you want to collect mint state pieces. So, it's great fun. It's a great camaraderie. You meet people with like interests. You find people that are upgrading their set because now they're a successful professional, so they've decided they can collect AU or uncirculated coins, so they start selling off their lower grade coins and put them back into the marketplace. So there's a lot of trading, and we get together and hang out at shows, go to dinner, and have a good time together.
That sounds like a lot of fun, really.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's a great, it's a great little fraternity of coin collectors. You go to the University of Numismatics, and you have your fraternity of the John Reich Collector Society, and so we're all brothers and sisters, and share a common interest. And even though one person might collect half dimes and the other collects half dollars, you speak the same language. You share the same excitement for the other person when they discover something really unusual or buy a wonderful coin for their collection, and everybody helps each other out.
Yeah. And how exactly is your club connected to the study of early American coppers?
Well, the Early American Coppers Club, EAC, is kind of the granddaddy of the specialty clubs. They started in the 1960s, and so everybody kind of since then has kind of patterned themselves loosely after that organization. Some years ago, they invited John Reich Collector Society members to join in their convention. They have a special convention once a year just for their club. And I like to tell people that it harkens back to like a coin show from the 1950s. There aren't that many dealers, but this is a show where everybody is a specialist. Everybody speaks the same language. It's not population reports and finest graded. It's die marriage and die state and interesting things like that. So you can go to any table and speak on an intellectual level with the dealer and the other collectors there. There are many seminars there also for beginners to expand their knowledge, or even experts to learn a little something extra from someone else. But so we've been sharing with them for the last few years. Their next convention is coming up in the end of April, beginning of May in Colorado Springs this year. So we'll all go out, and it'll be a very small, like I said, small convention, 50, 75 tables. But it'll all be specializing in basically early American numismatics and things related to them.
How does one join the John Reich Collector Society?
Well, you can go to jrcs.org. There's a membership application there. We charge $25 a year, and for that $25 you get 3 issues of the John Reich Journal, which is our house organ. Members write articles, experiences, research papers, and present them to the membership through the John Reich Journal. So you get 3 of those a year for your $25 and a chance to meet a bunch of interesting people at the conventions.
And how often does your club meet?
Well, we have an annual meeting at the American Numismatic Association convention in the summertime, and that's our official meeting. We have a meeting here at Fun every year, and we have a meeting at each of the Baltimore conventions. Also, if a member is willing to host a meeting at their local regional show, we publicize that, and they have a get-together there at times. So officially, once a year at the ANA, then Fun, 3 Baltimore, and every now and then a few others pop up through the year.
And you do have an e-newsletter that people can access through jrnewsletter@gmail.com, and that is a free newsletter,
That's
correct?
right. It's a free newsletter for anybody, whether you're a member or not. And basically, it's just members writing in on a weekly basis, maybe an experience, a research request, coin for sale or trade, general news, just to keep in touch with everybody on a short-term basis, rather than the quarterly newsletter that comes out. And it's a relatively informal way of keeping in touch, whereas the journal itself is printed and part of posterity, and we're in our 21st year of publishing the journal, so it's really been a nice ride for us, a great way of educating each other about the coins that we collect. And some of my best friends in the world I have met through the JRCS. I see them once to 3 times a year at major coin conventions, and it's really wonderful to get together, see them, and catch up on their family, their new coins for their collection, and to trade a few items with them, and have dinner, and spend a weekend with people like-minded. You don't always find someone at home that can share the same passion on the level that you do. And it's nice to be able to come out to the convention and get together with your fraternity brothers and have a good time.
Now, yesterday was dealer move-in day for fun, and you arrived in the afternoon. How was your dealer setup, and how is you're excited about opening day today?
It was always hectic.
It was
because there are certain dealers that don't set up right away. Their business is to run around and buy things immediately, and they're looking for good deals, and so. If you are setting up, it's trying to get everything out and positioned properly as people are coming up and trying to buy it at the same time. So yesterday was not quite as hectic as some other shows, but the sales were very good for me so far. I was actually able to purchase a few items from people walking around on the floor. So I've gotten a few nice half dimes already at the show, and overspent my budget. Don't tell my wife.
But today's opening day, so we're excited.
Today is opening day, and it's always a great day. It's always great to be at Fun, especially in Florida in January. It's a great place to be. I'm from Ohio, so I was scraping ice off of my windshield the other day in 30-degree below zero wind chill. So I got to play a little golf and come here to the convention and share time with everybody else.
Well, you're a very busy man to get in touch with, and I'm just so happy that I got to finally meet you and learn a bit about what you do.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you so much. And putting on a convention like this is no easy task, and the people at Fun have been doing it for many years, and this is one of the top conventions in the United States and probably the world. And people just love coming here.
We really appreciate your kind words. Thank you so much.
It's a fantastic opportunity. Everybody should come here at least once a year.
Well, like I said, awesome to meet you, and I hope you have a fabulous show, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Fun Facts Fast. You've been watching Fun Convention TV. Visit Fun Forums for fun show updates, videos, articles, photos, and more. Fun Forums, it just makes sense. This video is the property of Fun, Florida United Numismatist. Re-editing or use without prior consent is strictly prohibited.